It's about 9:37 on the 22nd day of April 2013. Calvin Castine at the eastern edge of Champlain Street in the village of Rouses Point. Business is kind of slow, I would guess, at the Stewart's today. Across the road, yet another devastating fire to the former Saxony bar here in Rouses Point, owned by Mark Chapman and family. Those of you who have seen some of our previous shows, Bob, Ben, and I did a tour here about 20 years ago. Gordy Little and I were here when we were talking about the Thunderbolts reunion, and we took the elevator in that area there up to the third floor studios where Mark Chapman had a recording studio. His apartment is up there, his family apartment. We first became aware of this fire when we threw on our computer this morning around 7 a.m. and checking our Facebook for overnight messages, and there were photos of this fire that occurred overnight in the middle of the night. We're going to try to get a few more details and pass them along as part of this presentation. We have heard through the social media that Mark and his family were able to get out. What we heard was they were barely able to get out, but that they are okay, but they have pretty much lost everything. So yet another tragic event here at the corner of Lake Street and Champlain Street, but tragic in the sense of a building loss, fortunate in the fact that there are no lives lost in this fire here on this April 22nd, 2013. We're going to change our angle. Unofficially, we've heard that as many as 13 fire departments were here throughout the night battling this blaze. There's still many departments here represented. Rouses Point has their own aerial truck, but here's a ladder, aerial ladder from District 3. Chatting with Bruce Seguin over that way from the fire department, and he said call came through about 1:30 this morning. And at this point in time, there's still a hot spot on one of the floors, and they're trying to get rid of that hot spot. We will try to find somebody that might have time to talk with us, but obviously they're still very much involved with this structure fire and making sure it's out. In addition to District 3, we also see the St. Paul is here from north of the border. St. Paul, of course, we saw the ladder truck when the Patriot flag arrived here a couple of years ago, and it hung from the St. Paul and the Rouses Point Fire Department aerial ladder trucks. Bruce did tell us that my brother-in-law Ben Arnold was here and took a lot of photos, so we'll try to get access to those photos. We can share them with you. We are now on the lake side of the Saxony, one time known as the Windsor Hotel. The history of this place goes back well over 100 years. It's been the site of several fires over the years. In fact, in today's Press Republican a 25-year look back there, referring to cleanup of this site from what they call the fire in 1984. I would have to shake out my memory banks to remember the 84 fire. I do recall one a little later than that. There's construction through here. Mark Chapman has done an awful lot of work refurbishing this building. He had really done a great job in the last few years to get this place back so it looked like an asset to the community, and this has got to be very devastating to Mark and his family, but it's good at this point to know that nobody was injured in this fire. We were told that Assistant Fire Chief Walter Laramie was the first one on scene, so he is in charge. Not sure if he'll have time to chat with us, or if we'll have maybe a representative from the county who might be able to tell us a little bit about what they know at this point. I'm assuming that these are individual apartments. If not active, they were intended to become individual apartments. And of course, I'm sure you've spotted the fact that we can see the sky through what used to be the ceiling and roof here. We are imposing very briefly here on our friend Mark Chapman, the owner of the Saxony. Mark, what time were you awakened, or what happened? How'd you?
Well, actually, my stepdaughter was alerted by the sirens coming down from Champlain, and it was probably 1:30, and she screamed, and I woke up, and my wife woke up, and we got out of there quickly.
So the fire was discovered by others before you?
Yes, yeah, and where it happened was the motor at the top of the elevator shaft had shorted out.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the fire started, right up there, and it just went right down through the shaft.
It just, like a chimney, just fire had a way to get to the other floors through that shaft.
Yeah. I'm lucky that they were able to put it out like they did. I mean, they did a good job considering how much fire was there.
So it was pretty much along by the time you woke up then?
Well, when we came out and went into the elevator shaft, we went down by the stairwell. It just was on fire at the top where the motor was.
Okay, just up there.
It spread very quickly after that.
So how many, is it just you and your family living there right now?
Yeah, there were 3 of us.
Okay, now I noticed you're fixing up apartments down here.
Yes, I just got my permits to do that. So I don't know what's going to happen. They'll have to inspect the building, and maybe there's a possibility of shearing off that top floor and putting a roof over the rest of it. I don't know at this point.
I've heard through Facebook that you, at this point, speculation is that you've pretty much lost just about everything you have in there, right?
All that recording equipment, I'm afraid so. They're going to let me know in a few minutes whether I can go up inside and take a look around. And if I can, then I'm going to walk through the floor and try to get my car keys and my teeth. I need my teeth.
So at this point, all you've got is the clothes on your back.
That's it. Yes. I didn't even have that. My daughter's boyfriend brought me this. I got my pants on. That was it.
Just the pants and gel. Wow.
Yeah, I was lucky to get out with all of us and without any injuries. I've already been to the medical center and they checked me out and said I'm okay, so I feel fortunate.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but the fortunate thing is that there's nobody lost a life.
That's right.
No.
Yeah. It's been a series of things, with bad luck since December when I lost my tenant David downstairs. He died of a heart attack, and he was only 58 years old. And since then, seems like things have gotten worse, you know, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, again, no loss of life.
No
so
loss.
it looks like down below the last couple of floors at least.
It looks like there's water damage, but it looks like there's a possibility that they can be salvaged.
And utilized.
I'll know better when they inspect the building.
But you have certainly put a lot of work into seeing what we've got seen here in the last couple of years.
A lot of work. It was, you know. I was feeling really good about the way things were going. You know, finally we getting things together and got the permits and all that. So I'll just have to see what happens in the future. I don't know right now.
Obviously, at this point in time, so you've been up all night. Where have you been? Where'd you sit up
well,
there?
you went to the ambulance first, and Red Cross came up, and I appreciate all the help that they did. Everyone's been really very nice. The fire department, everyone, and I want to say a word of thanks to everyone for what they did. You know, and I'm just looking to the future and hoping everything will turn itself around.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for at this point.
That's it.
Yeah. So you said you went to the medical center to
check my blood pressure. It was really high.
How'd you get there? Did they bring you, or how'd you get there?
My daughter.
Oh, okay.
My daughter brought me up. Yeah. So my blood pressure's back down close to normal. it won't be at normal.
No,
for a while.
I don't imagine. No. And you'll be reliving this tonight when you're able to finally get some sleep.
Exactly.
You won't be able to sleep in too good.
No, I'm just going to have to make contingent plans now as to what to do. I'm trying to get permission to turn the power back on so my RV in the back, I can live out of that.
You got that, yeah.
So he's going to let me know as soon as
Okay, tell me.
Now we got Walt Laramie coming over.
No fire damage on your floor to any of the contents. There's a lot of water damage. There's a lot of smoke damage. But like you get back in there when we think it's safe, we'll crawl in there. We'll be able to get your keys.
Oh, wonderful.
Mike says that there's magazines, but the cover's still intact on the floor.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, there's some stuff in there that you'll be able to salvage.
That's great.
Can't guarantee a lot, but there's some stuff in there. Most of the fire was in the attic. It dropped down onto your floor, but that's where most of the fire was.
The studio area then?
Okay, we'll let them have their conversation, but Walt Laramie pointing out that things are relatively not all destroyed, that there is some hope for Mark and his family. They've obviously been up there and sifting through there, the fire department, looking for hot spots. And they're still not 100% sure on that motor part, but that's their best guess at this point. But they'll get the determination on that, and of course that elevator motor. That's how Gordy Little and I got up there that last time. That little elevator trip was an experience in itself, and it's a good thing that Mark and his family were able to escape down the stairway. So, Walt, anything you got time to talk to us just for a second or two?
Sure.
You've been here since what?
Since the beginning. It must have been 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Now it's chilly out here. Here you are. You got your shirt, just a little T-shirt on underneath your jacket with your jacket wide open. Are you numb or what?
I'm numb. I just have to keep my head clean, covered.
So you're the fireman in charge?
I'm the first assistant. I was
first. Said you were the first one here.
Here, and I was the first one to start calling for help. Let's put it that way. So I got it.
Mark told us that until his stepdaughter heard the sirens, they didn't know that there was a fire.
It was reported by a passerby, and by the time I started yelling "Mark, Mark, Mark," they were already down in their car. I was never so glad to see somebody in my life.
You know, that passerby just probably saved their lives. No?
If he hadn't seen the fire, they wouldn't have known about it, because like I said, they heard the sirens.
Yeah. Well, So you must be pretty busy here. Well, you got 13 departments, I heard.
See, we got 4 from Quebec, we got 2 from Vermont, and we got 5 from New York. So yeah, that's what, 5 for 9, 11.
11. Okay. I heard you say that there's some good news in here, that some of that is not as destroyed as might have been anticipated up there.
Yeah, I thought that there was more fire damage actually on the 4th floor than there is. Apparently what was burning on the 4th floor was the debris from the attic that fell in. A lot of the contents, they're going to be damaged. They're going to be severe damage from water and smoke, but there's stuff that, like car keys and stuff that is not going to be affected by water and smoke, that can be cleaned. Yeah, it's salvageable. Clothing, probably not. It's that stuff gets that smell in, and you never get rid of it.
Now, with water damage, that seeps right through to the bottom floor.
We had water damage right down through. We've had to cut holes in the 2nd and the 3rd floor just to drain the water off, get pressure off those floors.
Well, Mark got a lot of work ahead of him, and it's too bad because Mark has really put a lot of effort into it.
He's put a tremendous amount of effort into it. I mean, for years it didn't look that pretty. He's done a tremendous amount of work putting siding on it. He had his permits already to put some apartments in. It's a tremendous loss, and that's also, I mean, the potential loss that he's probably looking at in his recording studio, and all those personal memories of his time with a band and everything. That's a loss that you can't replace.
No, he's got all that. Not just the equipment, it's also the recordings that I'm sure he had.
Exactly, because he had masters for just about everything. How much damage there is to that, we don't know.
He's remarkably calm. I commend Mark for that. He looks very calm at this point. I don't think I would be at this point. But
yeah, looks can be deceiving, but he's doing quite well.
He said he went to the medical center and they checked him out. And
I'm glad he did that, because we advised him it might be a good idea, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah. Okay. Now, just a personal note here. I used to work with a guy named Walt Laramie at Sheridan Ironworks, and he was very heavy in the fire department. So being involved in it's kind of in your blood, isn't it, Walter Jr.?
It's kind of, not quite junior, but it's in the blood. I've been doing it since I was 19 years old. So yeah, and we don't necessarily have to go back how long ago.
No, we won't say how old you.
Let's put it this way.
How long ago you were 19?
I had a break for about 4 years while I was living in Montreal, but I've been doing this now for about 46 years.
So let's see, 50 and 19. We won't get into exactly
62. That's when I started.
That's
when I started. Well, yeah, I'm a few years more than that, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Walt. I hope you'll be able to get some relief. Any idea when you'll be able to pack up? I see some of you guys are, all guys are.
In case you see a bad thing about St. Paul.
Merci for l'attention. We'll probably be out of here in an hour or so. We're just going to have to go through, make absolutely sure that we've got nothing smoldering. We don't want to come back. And
the breeze is steady.
The breeze is very steady. If this had happened on Friday, we would.
With the wind?
I don't know. It would have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and it would have spread too.
And there's a very good chance if it had that wind that we would have had a severe jeopardy of life. It's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking time to chat with us, and I hope you'll be able to get some rest.
And just a safety, I don't know whether they were in there or not, and they just didn't hear them. But I'd like to emphasize, if the first they knew there was a fire was when they heard the sirens, that's too late.
You need those smoke alarms.
You need those smoke alarms.
Yeah, definitely. Check your batteries.
Check your batteries, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Walt. All right, that's Walt Laramie, and he's the fireman in charge, or whatever the exact title is here. They are starting to pack up a little bit, which is good news. It's now about 7 after 10 on this morning of the 22nd, on Monday in 2013. This is the west side of the Saxony, and this is the area where the fire is believed to have originated. and it was able to move its way down through this elevator area. And of course, again, the Saxony recording studio was right around in there, and a lot of memories are there, and we're hoping that Mark is able to salvage them. They're looking to be able to get keys to his motorhome and maybe drive his motorhome out. These firemen not only put out fires, they also help with help the families out too. What an effort right here. There's Mark in the back, and he's hoping to be able to move into his motorhome for a day or two, just to be able to have a roof over his head without imposing on someone. So these firefighters from, I say firemen, but of course it's firefighters, men and women, are responding to this in the middle of the night, and they are still here 8+ hours later, and still willing to do whatever it takes to help Mark out. So we can't say enough about the people who work in our emergency squads and fire departments throughout the whole North Country. And as Mark said, it's not just, Laramie said, it's not just our New York people. We had fire departments from Quebec, two from Vermont, and a bunch from the New York side. So it's a mutual aid call goes out. People from throughout the area can respond in a big way. We're now a couple miles west of Rouses Point at Mason's Corners, where Mason Road, Route 276 and Route 11 converge, and the arrow has been sending folks to the 276 route, avoiding Rouses Point. This will be coming down very shortly, I'm sure. And of course this road goes to Northeastern Clinton Central School, for those of you who are semi-familiar with the area. Arno is currently out of town. We hope to catch up with him later today and get access to those photos. We will be putting up probably this first portion to the internet as quickly as possible, and then hopefully adding to it the photos that Ben and Arnold took throughout the night.
Our apologies for the audio portion of that segment we just showed from Route 11. Our plug-in microphone had become unplugged without our knowledge, and the sound was a little hard to hear. This is a series of photos sent to us by Rouses Point Fire Department Auxiliary Member Brian Smith. He says the ones in dark that we're going to be seeing here were taken about 3 a.m. So this is the early part of the firefighting efforts. You can see the flames coming from the 4th floor. I have a series of photos here. We'll advance on our computer. And now we really see some flames coming out. This would be the District 3 ladder truck, I believe. I believe the Rouses Point ladder truck was in the parking lot, and St. Paul was on Champlain Street. On Route 11, or 9B actually at that point. So once it reaches the Saxony, Route 11 follows So we'll call it Lake Street, I guess. There's a group of firefighters. A lot of smoke and flames coming out. A ladder truck again from Lake Street attacking it. Or actually, this might be a view from... This might be a view from Champlain Street. No, it's not. It's looking across from the corner of the Stewarts. This is the northeastern corner of the Saxony that we're looking at right here, with the flames coming out of the southeastern part of the building. The ladder truck. Firefighters attacking this. There was a steady breeze, not as strong as we've had in recent times, but we've had a steady breeze throughout their efforts to control this. And you can see why it was considered a good save with this kind of a fire going on. This is a good save. It took a lot of effort, a lot of firefighters, and a lot of departments to make this save. There's a view a little further back, again in that Stewart's area on the corner of Champlain and Lake Streets. A very good view of the efforts that were going on. A close-up of some of the firefighters. Another view from further back. And when you look at these, you can see it's amazing that they were able to save this building. There's some flames coming out. A lot of heavy smoke. You can see 4 or 5 hoses coming from Lake Street attacking this fire. And here's some scenes from later on in the morning hours. The firefighters put in a long day starting in the middle of the night. Coming not just from Rouses Point, but from the surrounding communities. There's Sally Smith and Kim LePan, auxiliary members helping out, keeping these firefighters with food and beverages so they can sustain their energy. A rescue truck from north of the border. And you can see the water on the street with the street sign, Champlain. So this is the corner of Champlain and Lake Street. 9B is behind the fire truck. Route 11 turns here or starts here, depending on what your thoughts are on that, whether Route 11 goes to the bridge or not. But this is where Lake Street meets Champlain Street. And this is back to the first picture that we saw from Brian Smith. So we all appreciate Brian Smith taking time to send us these photos via Facebook.
Okay, we have finally tracked down Ben Arno, and we are just finishing up a program that we've done on an entirely different subject at the Rouses Point American Legion Post 912. And Benny's going to take a few moments. He's got a couple dozen pictures here, and these are pretty much in chronological order. This looks like the elevator, top of the elevator, Ben?
Yes, that's the top of the elevator. That's about 20 minutes to 2 when I first got there.
So shortly after 1:30 then is when you arrived, and imagine the fire trucks were just barely starting to pull in.
2:30, sorry.
2:30, oh, 'cause
2:30.
okay.
20 minutes to 3.
20 minutes to 3, okay.
Yeah.
So were there a lot of departments there at that time? Or?
No. There was no fire trucks there at that time. Michael LeBlanc asked me to go down and get the fire chief asked me to go down and get the ladder truck. And I said, can I snap 1 or 2 pictures first? Yeah, go ahead, he says. So I took 1 picture and off I went to get the ladder truck.
Okay, so now you're back with the ladder truck, and we see the ladder truck in the picture.
Right, yes. And I don't think we're shooting water there yet and stuff. Very, very shortly we'll be shooting water.
All right.
And it started to go pretty good right there.
Have you heard anything more about who called it in? All I've heard is a passerby.
That's what I heard too. A passerby called it in, and I don't know if he went to the Saxony to see if anybody was in there or not or whatever, but definitely it was burning pretty good.
Okay, but that passerby probably saved the lives of Mark Chapman.
Oh, definitely.
Because the sirens is what woke Mark up.
Right, yes.
This is really engulfed here. Was Mark out of here at this point?
Yes, Mark was out of there at that point, yes.
Fortunately, in addition to the elevator, there was a ladder, a stairway they could go up and down.
Right.
So this is fully engulfed, and you can see a nice view from the ladder truck. And a view taken just a few seconds later.
Yes.
And now we see the structure to the left is the part that's closest to Champlain Street, and on the right is where the main fire was burning.
By that time, other departments were coming in and getting set up, and at that time we were putting water. We just started putting water on the fire.
Brian Smith sent me some pictures that I've shown too. That it looks like 4 or 5 hoses going on from Lake Street entrance.
Oh yes, yes. St. Paul was there, and they did a heck of a job doing fire, watching the building next door to Henny Chapman's, making sure that didn't catch and stuff. And they were all in really good shape out there in the front.
Here's a scene.
Yes, quite a few firemen and fire trucks were coming in and stuff like that. Yes.
Looking towards Stewart, so you were probably here in the vicinity of the log cabin hotel, looking back north in a northerly direction. It's a good shot of all the departments at work. Are you aware of anybody who has any extensive video during this time period, Ben?
I don't think so. I don't know if anybody had a video or not. I think one guy from Isle of Mont, he comes to a lot of the fires in the North Country and Alberg and stuff, and he videoed quite a bit of it.
Okay.
And I don't know his name, but I've seen him at quite a few fires.
So if anybody's aware of any video that somebody would like to share, we'd love to pass it around. These are unfortunate incidents, but I do know, like, when the Hotel Holland went up, I'm grateful to Jack Favreau who provided us some video.
Yep. And this is District 3 Fire Department when they're coming in and starting to get set up and stuff.
And there's there are 3 ladder trucks that day. There's a St. Paul,
District 3 and Rouses Point. Right.
And that beats the number of ladder trucks we had when the Patriot flag arrived. We had 2.
Oh yes, yes.
That was a much more fun situation.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a view looking at it. This would be from
standing in the middle of lake and
looking lake, looking toward the south.
Right.
Yeah. And similar view, and down below you see how nice it was starting to look in the front.
Right, it was, he's doing one heck of a job and stuff like that on that building, and it started to look really nice, and it's too bad this happened.
It just, you know, Mark had put so much work in there and doing such a nice job that really would have been, and hopefully, you know, with so much water in there, I'm hoping that the bottom 2 floors can be salvaged.
Right, right.
There's another view from the Lake Street view.
Yes, that's St. Paul just starting to set up and getting up at the eve and stuff like that.
Another view from the ground. This is the St. Paul again.
Yes.
You know, and you just can't say enough about this mutual aid system we have here, where, you know, people from not just the local community, but from all the surrounding communities come together and spend the middle of the night and into the early morning, miss work, and
yes,
you know, miss a good night's sleep to go out here
and fight fires. Yeah.
You know, just
and lucky, the last time the Saxony burnt was really cold. It was about 14 below zero, and this time was a lot better, but not a good fire. But yeah.
Yeah, it's when it's in the middle of a real cold snap like that the firefighters really suffer. Okay, here this is probably from across from Stewart's.
Yes.
Okay, so that's
looking at our ladder truck in the back.
Right. And the District 3 will have set up to our left, probably a little bit out of this picture. I don't know if they were there at this point or not.
Yes, they were there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a view, another view of you can see Stewart's sign on the left. So this is looking toward the lake?
Toward the lake, yes.
All right, so this is looking from Champlain, looking toward the lake. And another similar shot, just a little further back. And some of the firefighters.
District 3 starting to set their truck up.
District 3 ladder truck. And again, this District 3 again.
Yes, yeah. And one of the electric crew was there from the village.
Yeah. One of the things us laymen don't always think of, but you, how many years at the Rouses Point village electric
37 and a half years.
So you probably shut the power off on a few of these.
Oh yeah, definitely. Quite a few of them, yeah.
There's another view, again, I would guess from
Stewart's, out
Stewart's.
On the side of Stewart's, yes.
Oh, Stewart's open.
Where's the dirty plate go?
Just put them on the table. Put them right there.
All right. Benny's hosting a luncheon here as we're going along here. Now, Stewart's, what are their hours? What are their normal work?
Oh, I think their hours are, I think, at 4:30 in the morning, but they were opened up pretty early and stuff. I don't know. I think he gets there probably like 3 and he sets stuff up and stuff like that, and then I think they open up at 4:30. I'm not sure. But firemen were going in there and getting coffee and stuff. And
outside of firemen, they didn't have many customers for quite a while.
No, not until about 9 o'clock. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because even when I left at 10:30, it was still, the sign was still up on Route 11, blocking people off up at Mason's Corners.
Yeah.
So here you can see a lot of flames. And any guess on the time period here?
Oh, let's see. It had to be close to 3:30 by then.
Okay.
I'm assuming, yeah, about 3:30, 3:45.
I was talking with Bruce Siegman, was in a car at Stewart's, one of the fire department cars there. He was on official duty. I'm not sure what his official title was sitting there, but he was saying when he got there, he was he's thinking that this could be a total loss, and I'm sure that was going through everybody's mind.
Yes, the way the flames were starting to shoot then, and the whole roof started to catch on fire.
So all in all, considered to be a good save, and look at the
that's when it was really starting to burn right there. And
now, are they just using water in this? There's no.
When we first got there, Rouses Point, we used foam
and the back part, and I think it knocked quite a bit of it down, but I think it was too far going into the roof by that time.
Because I don't know a lot about fighting fires, but I do know that water is H2O, and hydrogen and oxygen are good for flames.
We're very lucky we didn't have the winds we had in the last 4 or 5 days and stuff like that.
It could have spread.
It could have really had a really hard time. Yeah.
And it's really engulfed there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point in time, you'd have to be wondering if you could make a save.
Right. Even save it. Yeah. Even save the top floor. I mean, you know, or even the second floor. You know. And a lot of the water going through the building and stuff at that time. And
just to tell you, your blueberry pie is absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
And Ben just been complimented on his blueberry pie here while we're recording this. Okay, here's some more flames. And again, this is from the Champlain Street view looking toward the lake.
Anybody grow blueberries? I can't seem to get any blueberries.
And let's see here, where are we here, Ben?
We're in the back, towards the back of the building on Champlain Street.
Okay.
Looking southeast, I guess.
Okay. So the elevator would be just out of the picture.
Right.
To the right.
To the right, yes. District 3 is really putting a lot of water there. And
yeah, here's a really good shot here. Again, you would never guess that the fire departments would make a save here. We can't say firemen anymore, Ben.
Right. Have to, yeah. Fire personnel. Fire personnel, because we do have women and our fire department now, all over the county. Yeah.
Look at that. That's amazing shots. And of course, this is high tech here. I'm just putting the photos up, bracing them against my carry-all bag here, and that's my thumb you see in the picture once in a while. And from here, you're at again on Lake Street,
right?
Probably standing in front of Stewart's or right at the intersection. I think I can see the
right
yellow lines of the
right dead center of Lake and Champlain Street. Yeah. And you can see all in the back where your thumb is, the lines that's going up,
all the fires,
all the water and stuff like that going onto the building.
They're all hoses spraying. So much water going into
They figured, counting all the hoses and stuff like that, they figured that they were putting estimate of 8,000 gallons a minute on the building.
Now does the Saxony have a basement?
I'm not sure.
If it does, it's probably a swimming pool.
Yes, I know next door the village had to pump Henny Chapman's house later on. I'm assuming like 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, because she started to get quite a bit of water.
Yeah.
The runoff. Yeah.
Did you take them?
Yep. Benny took these, and we're recording right now here, John. So that's all right. That's all right. We'll be done. Here's a pile you can glance through it if you want. This is
that's right on Champlain Street, looking south, right dead south of the building, Saxony.
Okay.
Are you editing?
All right, we're recording right now, Marlene. And there's again
another one.
Flames, and these are in chronological order. So what we're seeing is a sequence that they happen.
There's a good picture of all the flames coming, or all the water shooting on the building,
and a closer view, a different angle on the hoses.
Right.
Attacking. Now obviously, if you can run that hose up on the ladder truck, you can get over the top here. You got to shoot up. And, and it's hard to keep a
shoot into the windows and stuff like that. And it's lucky that the windows broke and stuff like that, where they could shoot into the windows and stuff because there was so much heat. The windows broke, and
you've got to have a way to get the water in there, and and for the fire actually to vent. Otherwise, it becomes an oven.
Yep. There's District 3's ladder I thought I heard that they said that District 3's ladder was putting out 1,800 gallons a minute. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard.
Now, was this all through hydrants?
No, they were pumping, I think two or three trucks were pumping out of the lake.
Okay. They don't run into residue when they do that?
No, what they have is a floater that goes on top of the water, and they set their hard suction on top of that, and so it doesn't reach the bottom. It's pretty good. It's a pretty heavy-duty flotation device.
Okay.
And they set their hose on that and push it out. And
once in a while, they shoot a minnow into the flames?
Oh, I'm sure, probably, yeah. They're really pumping at that time, like 1,200 gallons a minute or 1,250, whatever.
Anything near there would...
yeah, suck right in, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we see there's a Champlain fireman.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, at that time there, that was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, and they must have been 100 firemen there at that time.
And of course the auxiliary was there too,
The
right?
auxiliary was there serving coffee and donuts and stuff. Yeah. It's lucky we have an auxiliary they can come out and stuff like that. I seen them before come out in really bad weather and stuff.
Yeah, well, about 7 o'clock I went on my computer and I just checked my overnight email, then I go to Facebook to see what any messages on there, and Kim LePan had posted a couple of pictures, and that was about the first I had heard of this on the 23rd was through there. Then and I saw a few other posts relating to this, and obviously I knew at that point that there's no sense in rushing down because
it was pretty well over by then. Yeah.
Now here's again a nice shot of 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 hoses plus the ladder truck attacking.
Yeah.
Now of course Walt Laramie was the
chief in charge.
Yes. And every department has experienced personnel everybody's been through this at other communities, so that it probably...
They pretty well know what to do and stuff like that. They get coordinated and stuff. Chris Trombley pulls the departments in what we need, a ladder.
Representing the county. And
yeah, and stuff like that. So he does a good job, and then Walt did one heck of a job commanding all over the whole scenario of the fire and stuff.
There's another shot.
That's the fire chief going over and talking to Walt. Mike LeBlanc.
So even though he's the chief, Walt was the first on site as an officer?
Officer, and he took charge, yes.
Which is a heck of a responsibility.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, yes.
You run on adrenaline, I would imagine.
Yep.
All right.
It's one of our...
Is that a Rouses Point truck?
No, that's a LaCole truck, yes. They were there, yep.
And that's another nice thing that we have is the
mutual aid system, yes. And it's a good thing that they can come through the border and not a lot of hassle and stuff.
Yeah, we had that once a while back, and we're going to forget about that.
Right.
That hasn't, I think it's taken care of itself.
Right, it has, yes.
They had one department that was held up. They're trying to come to fight a fire, and an overzealous person at the border made them jump through hoops to come fight a fire. So again, here's a bunch of hoses. Again, I'm counting at least 5, maybe 6 streams going toward the fire. And of course, it'd be an attack from the front and from the back, and
also the side here.
Side here, but outside of the ladder truck, there's no way to get at it from the ground here.
No, it was too far going, and Walt didn't send no men inside and stuff.
Well, yeah, you send a man inside there, you're just
asking for problems,
for real trouble.
Yeah.
And it's like it's starting to get a little brighter out there.
Right, yeah.
And I think we might be down to
the last picture.
The last picture here?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah. And it's probably about 6:30 there, 6 o'clock and stuff. So the firemen did one heck of a job, I think, trying to save it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and let's hope that
Mark can do something and try to save the bottom 2 floors if he can, and because he had it fixing up pretty good there.
Yeah, yeah. But all that time, all that,
Yeah.
I did get to chat with him a little bit, and I did talk to Walt a little bit that day.
And I think they are having a benefit for him here
yep,
at the Legion.
On the 19th, right here.
Right
here at the Rouses Point Legion, Friends of the Saxony. Angie McDonald is the one that's
organizer.
Yeah, and she's spearheading it. And
yeah.
so it's going to be kind of like the Saxony reunion all over again in many respects, except that it's going to be a fundraiser right here. And
yes, and I hope we get a lot of turnout for that. Help out a guy with no insurance, I guess. That's what I hear. He had no insurance.
Yeah,
so.
that's read in the paper. That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Alrighty, Calvin. No
Ben
problem.
Arno, we interrupted his lunch here so he could share these with us, but we appreciate you taking these pictures and for taking time to share them with us, Ben.
Thank you.
After finishing this recording with Benny, we returned to find out that the fundraiser for the Mark Chapman family, for the Friends of the Saxony, is going to be held at the Rainbow Wedding and Banquet Hall in Altona on May 19th. So the Rainbow Wedding and Banquet Hall, Sunday, May 19th, 2013.